Now it is my great pleasure to introduce tonight's keynote speaker. Elaine Bernard served as Executive Director of the Labor and Work-Life Program at Harvard Law School from 1989 to 2017. She has a BA from the University of Alberta, an MA from the University of British Columbia, and a PhD from Simon Fraser University. And as you might guess, she's Canadian. And I'm a graduate of the Harvard Trade Union program, and when I heard that there was a new director coming in, a woman from Canada, and I remember Father Ed Boyle saying, "She's something else," and and she certainly lived up to her billing. Dr. Bernard has conducted courses on a wide variety of topics for unions, community groups, universities, and government departments. Her current research and teaching interests are in the areas of international comparative labor movements and the role of unions in promoting civil society, democracy, and economic growth. Elaine is a scholar, a clear-sighted thinker, an activist, and a great teacher, beloved and admired by labor activists at every level of the international labor movement and the U.S. labor movement. Elaine, who is here with her husband Greg Gigg, a Teamster, by the way. Greg, where are you? There he is also a cherished friend of the Guild. So again, thank you. Elaine, could you step up?
Thank you. Well, very similar to the previous speakers, I do want to applaud the students. I want to applaud you in particular because you probably don't know something about me, and they never announce it, but I'm a high school dropout. And I got my university degree. It seems that once you get a university degree, they never ask you about your high school. But I got it the way you are getting your education here now. That is, I worked full-time, and then after a full day of work, I was working as a machinist, I then went to classes. And I know how hard that is, but I also know how inspiring it is. Because, work's a good thing to study, but actually doing it is really tough. And it's exhausting. And then to come from a full day work, and then to get into books, and into arguments, and into ideas, that's tiring too. It's tiring, but it's also exciting. It opens a whole different world. And I loved it so much, I thought, hey, I'm going to stick with this education game. This looks a lot better than machining to me. And so that's how I ended up becoming, ultimately, a labor educator. Now, I'm very honored to be here, and I've loved the Guild. I'll tell you why. There was a time in America, around just after World War II, 1945, where there were over 100 labor guilds. Every major city in America had a labor guild. They even had the equivalent in Canada. They've all disappeared except this one. And this one is thriving, and it's thriving because of you. It's thriving because of the faculty who volunteer their time. It's thriving because of the staff, and it's thriving because of the Archdiocese and their support for this. But mostly, the most important thing is what you do when you leave here and you talk to others about coming and joining the Guild, coming to the programs. And by the way, after a few more semesters, some of you may be coming back a lot because you'll be teaching in the Guild, because that's the way the Guild grows also. And this is a really, really important time in our lives for something like the Guild. You may have noticed we're a little messed up right now as a country. I'm probably not telling you something you haven't already sort of spotted. I would say we are facing more uncertainty than they were facing when the Guild was founded in 1945. Hell, at least then they knew they had defeated fascism. Right now, I'm not so sure. One of the things in times of uncertainty, an absolute thing we need, is leadership. You don't need leadership when things are clear. When everybody knows and everything's going along as it should, you don't need leadership. It just goes on automatic pilot. When you need leadership is in times of uncertainty. And that's because leadership is about, and in the labor movement, we teach a particular type of leadership. It's about accepting responsibility for enabling others, your colleagues, your neighbors, your network, your union, enabling others to achieve purpose in face of uncertainty. And boy, as a society in America today, we really need leadership. We need leadership that brings people together, not pulls them apart. One of the reasons I love the labor movement is with the labor movement, you know, we don't actually choose our members. A lot of people think we choose our members. You know, I'll take her and her. Him I'm not so sure about. We don't do that. The employer hires people. And we then go in there and we bring together a group of people that we didn't choose. You know, in life in America so often we choose. We choose where we live, we choose who our friends are, we choose who we're going to hang out with. We make a lot of choices. But you know, in the workplace, we don't sit around and say, well, you know, Mr. Employer, please hire this person, not that person. The employer hires them. But then we bring them together and we transform a group and turn them from individual workers to a group, a union, a united, solidaristic group of employees who work together. And by doing that, one of the other things we do, the most important thing in democracy, is not just voting. Don't get me wrong, voting's important, but it only happens every 2 years. Every day you go to work, every day you meet neighbors, and it's accepting responsibility to bring people together, to work on common purpose, and to go out and do things. You know, unions teach that it's not only your right to participate in decisions that affect you. That's what they call democracy. But those decisions take place every day. They don't just take place every 2 years. And what unions do is they show us how we not only have a right to participate in decisions that affect us, unions push us a little further. They say you have a responsibility to participate in decisions that affect you. And collectively, through collective bargaining, you can play a major role in determining those decisions. And it won't be easy. You're going to argue with each other, you're going to have different viewpoints, but what we do is forge a community and learn how to argue with each other with respect. Learn how to develop together a common path. Learn how to work with management for a common purpose. And when we do that, we construct democracy. Because democracy isn't something that just sits on a plaque. Democracy is something that has to be rebuilt. And one of the sad things we're learning today is it can be lost. It can be lost. We can be divided. We can develop a practice of not listening and disrespect. But through programs like this at the Guild, through your extra efforts of working a full day and coming here at the Guild, learning some of the very basic tools of a free and democratic society, you are rebuilding our democracy. So I applaud you all, and I look forward to maybe seeing you in the fall. Thank you.